Good evening. Welcome to the Select Board meeting of November 15th. I'll call the meeting to order at 6:01. This meeting is being broadcast live on BNC TV and live streamed on YouTube. To find BNC TV on YouTube, go to youtube.com and search for Bernardston-Northfield Community Television. This meeting will be available for later viewing by following the link at townofbernardston.org. And if you're on Comcast, you can go to 1075 and watch it on TV. First order of business will be the warrants. I'll entertain a motion for the payroll warrant in the amount of $71,751.88.
So moved. Second.
Is there any questions on the payroll warrant? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
I'll entertain a motion for the vendor warrant in the amount of $721,613.
So moved. Second.
The big thing on the vendor warrant this month was the school again for $641,128. Any other things or comments on it?
Nope.
Okay, hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Entertain a motion for the special meeting minutes of October 31st, 2023.
So moved. Second.
Any additions, deletions, corrections?
Nope.
Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Entertain a motion for the regular meeting minutes of November 1st, 2023.
So moved. Second.
Any additions, deletions, corrections?
Nope.
Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Entertain a motion for the special meeting minutes of November 7th.
So moved. Second.
Any additions, deletions, corrections?
Nope.
Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
A calendar and announcements. The Bernardston Senior Center Thanksgiving lunch will be served on Thursday, November 16th at 11:45. That is tomorrow. Come and celebrate Thanksgiving with the family, friends, and staff. There is a $3 suggested voluntary donation. Sign up with Claire at 648-5319. Board of Assessors will meet on Thursday, November 16th at 3:15 p.m. at the Town Hall. The Planning Board and Public Hearing meeting is scheduled for Thursday, November 16th at 6 p.m. at the Town Hall. Come meet with the Upper Valley Veterans Service District Representative Stacy Kozeko on Monday, November 27th at 3 p.m. at the Senior Center. Representative Stacy is a resource and referral for help and assistance with VA claims for disability and pensions. Okay, now the public meeting tomorrow night is for, what, can anybody refresh me on that? Chris?
There's a meeting tomorrow night?
It says Planning Board and Public Hearing meeting is scheduled for Thursday.
Monday, the 20th.
Monday the 20th?
Yes.
Okay, because we got down here Thursday, so.
Okay.
Okay, good to
Sorry about
know.
that.
So the correction on that, the Planning Board and Public Hearing meeting is scheduled for Monday, November 20th. At 6 o'clock?
Yes.
At 6 o'clock. Town Hall. Okay, first order of business we have tonight is Randy Koshier, Regional Health Agent, Cooperative Public Health Service from the COG. How you doing, Randy?
Good, Joe.
Not too bad at all.
Long time no see.
Yes, it is.
What can I help you with?
Well, we just need to have some clarification on a couple things. We've had two events in town that they had vendors and they were, I don't know if you want to use the word shut down. We're told they couldn't sell their products,
Okay.
the food, and we just need to know why, because they've always been here doing that. Like,
Okay. I'm aware of one that there was concerns with. I'm not aware of a second. So Scarecrow in the Park, nobody was shut down.
okay.
One person was temporarily closed. I guess, let me provide 4 copies of this. This goes through vendor by vendor. There was a group, Stout Pigeon, who we've dealt with in other towns, very good. She was there when the inspector showed up, however, closed her tent and left. Wicked Groovy Grill, easy for me to say, you'll see information there. He was able to open. He talked about not coming back the second day. I don't know if he did or not. Crafted by Caitlin is a nice person from here in Bernardston who does cookies. As far as while the inspector was on, she was a no-show. I don't know if she ever showed up later that day or came the second day. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the food truck, which was probably one of the bigger issues. It was stuck in the mud, had to get pulled in. And at 11:40, there was a variety of things that were wrong, including no person that was certified in food protection. They got the person up by 12:30. They were ready to go and able to resume operations.
I understand also when we had a few weeks prior to the Scarecrow in the Park.
That one occurs now. I was the one that actually shut them. So these were down at Hitchcock.
Right.
There was the young lady who I just mentioned, crafted by Caitlin, had pulled out a temporary food permit and was doing cookies at a craft fair at Hitchcock, not at Hitchcock, I'm sorry, at Kringle. And at the same time, there was a craft fair going on at Hitchcock. And there was 2 people vending food there that had no permits, no serve safes, no anything.
Okay, well, what has changed? Because we've been doing this for years.
I don't think anything has changed. They just may not have been seen. Honestly, I would have not stopped there had Caitlin not had a permit. But once I've seen it, I can't just not see it.
So if somebody's making jellies or salsa at home or pickles, and then they come to a craft fair and they're selling them, they have to have a special...
They wouldn't be allowed to make salsa or pickles at home, but if they were making cookies, they'd have to have a temporary food permit to vend them there generally.
What do you mean they couldn't make it at home?
Under the laws in Massachusetts, a home kitchen permit is only valid to make non-time controlled for safety foods, generally what I would call dry pantry items. Cakes, cookies, things that do not need to be refrigerated. Pickles, on their very nature, you are taking a product and needing to add enough vinegar to make it shelf stable. So it's required to have a HACCP plan to make them, which is amazing considering how many of us have pickled at home for years. And the same with like jarring salsa and stuff. It's considered a complex process, and that requires a traditional full food service permit.
That doesn't sound good at all. I mean, it's just, because I know I've been to a lot of craft fairs right here in Western Mass, and people are giving samples of their salsa, giving samples of their pickles.
But they may be making them in a commercial kitchen and not making them at home. Again, I don't know where people make everything, as long as they have the right information.
Wow. Well, we got to get that information out to the...
Well, one of the things is I had a great conversation with Geneva at Hitchcock after that event. And, her and I had a great conversation, and she's going to just let anybody who's selling food know to contact us. Most of the time, we can walk them through whatever the process is and get them taken care of pretty easy.
Wow.
Is there like a simple cheat sheet or something vendors can get, or is it easier just to call?
I have some stuff that it's usually easier to call, and then I send them a quick 1-page, this is what you need, it's all part of 590. And we have,
Okay, I think it's kind of gone over the top there. That's just my opinion myself.
I don't disagree with you in many ways, Stan. It's not easy on me doing it either. I mean, on that day, honestly, I left my house in Guild, headed over to see my grandchildren in Greenfield, and I thought I'd stop and do a quick 10-minute inspection on a cookie place. And ended up having to discuss with 2 people, and it's not a comfortable discussion.
Okay. Okay, our next concern is this place there on
72 Brattleboro Road.
72 Brattleboro Road. This has been bounced back and forth. So it's almost like a ping pong, going back and forth. I know in June we were supposed to file something in housing court. I don't know if that ever got done.
It did not, because as of that day after that meeting, there was nothing over there that was in violation of health laws. If you go there today, I'm trying to find the pictures that Kurt sent me, which are not right here, and I don't know why. Oh, because he sent them on his other phone. There are unregistered vehicles. There is the camper trailer that the last I had heard is not being occupied to live in, which I've heard that from a couple of different folks here. When I drive by it, I will not say weekly, but obviously as I was driving by Hitchcock, I make this trip frequently to go see my grandchildren, and when I come back, I will swing up through.
Okay.
I've never seen lights on in it. It does have a power cord to it.
It does have a power cord?
Does have a power cord. But that doesn't not mean it's being lived in. If it's not being lived in, the health department has no teeth in that one.
Okay, how about the contamination from the unregistered cars?
We don't know that any of them are leaking.
Okay,
Or what?
Leaking. If they are leaking, then we have a ground problem, we have something. But without them leaking, and I haven't seen any evidence of any of them leaking.
so we have no ground to stand on.
Well, I don't know what your zoning is in town. I mean, most towns have zonings for unregistered vehicles. I don't think that most of these have plates on them, but
Then the other thing, it says in the zoning bylaws, if they have unregistered motor vehicles, they should be hidden behind a fence if they have too many. So that's how it got resolved a few years ago for a place on Bald Mountain Road. The people ended up putting the vehicles in the backyard and they put a fence around it. But I think now that one even is in violation again too, so.
Okay, well,
I'm trying to count real quick. It looks like I'm counting 6 or 7 cars. I can't tell in these pictures if there's plates
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
One of them does look like it has a plate on it.
yeah, and there's one beside the trailer and the whole one sitting
Well,
back
there's
in
2
there.
over there,
Yeah.
and one of 3 actually. One of them looks like it has a plate on it, the red pickup.
Okay.
The red
So-
pickup?
The red pickup looks like it has a plate on it.
Doesn't mean it's registered
No.
necessarily.
Correct, but we're not allowed to run plates. Yeah. I don't have any ability to run the license plate.
Well, what do you gentlemen want to do?
So we're getting no help from your agency?
I would love to be able to help, but there's not a code that they're in violation of right now that's apparent from what's,
A zoning bylaw of the town?
Board of Health doesn't deal with zoning.
Okay.
That would be either whoever your zoning official is,
Okay.
which is probably Jim Hawkins, I'm assuming. I don't know if you guys use
Well,
cooperative
we have
inspection.
another avenue that we're gonna
Yeah, that's
try to
okay.
approach,
Mhm.
and we can talk about that either later tonight, or we can talk about now. Karen's put together a packet in here on law, state law, it's 21D. And that will give us the ability, it's a
Non-criminal disposition?
non-criminal disposition, and that'll give us the ability to go after it legally.
Mm-hmm.
But first of all, we gotta get this bylaw written with this in it and get it approved.
And then have a hearing officer. But it's a great,
Because
it's a
they're
great
just,
tool.
I mean, we've asked them several times, you've been there several times.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just like, they're just kinda like laughing at the town and saying, we'll do what we wanna do. I mean, it's right there beside the road, it's gotta be cleaned up.
And I don't, I personally don't think we've written our last order there.
Did you what?
I don't think we've written our last order there. That's why, even though there's nothing technically right now in violation of public health laws, I drive by it frequently. Kurt has property in Vermont, so he goes to Vermont frequently, and he'll often take this route.
Okay, well, I
Instead
think we
of
need to
91
step it up, and if something does happen, we need to step it up and,
That's
enforce it.
Question.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Barbara Killeen. I'm from Board of Health, I'm the chair. And I realize that you got some kind of feedback from somebody who lives nearby and is complaining about this property, and it's something that we've been looking at for quite a while. But I just want to point out that this is not the only property in Bernardston that has many, many cars on it that are unregistered. The one down on Ball Mountain Road that perhaps you referred to, Chris.
Yeah,
Has 3 cars, which poor Mrs. Grover's had to look at for as long as I've lived there. Well, actually, I guess they moved in 5 years after I moved there. So it's been almost 35 years that she's been looking at these 3 junk cars that are having nothing done to them, and now that the tarp has worn off, now they're just sitting out there without any kind of cover whatsoever. So I'm thinking that it would be a really good thing to figure out how many is acceptable and then start cracking down on some of these things, because there's a lot of people around that are saying, I'm going to do something with these, but they haven't done anything with them for a long, long time.
Our bylaw says 2.
Well, there's a lot of people that are.
Bylaws say 2 unregistered vehicles.
And what happens after they have 2?
Supposedly you can give them a fine of $5 a day.
And
No,
that's,
no, $5, I don't know if it's a day or
I think it is.
I
day.
think it's
and that's the police that have to go in.
The police,
Who is the person that?
well, that's another issue we got because there's nothing in the bylaw that stipulates who.
The
enforcing person, right.
The enforcing person for zoning bylaws is
The
the
building
building inspector, and it's stated right in the zoning bylaws that he is the enforcer of the zoning bylaws.
But the unregistered vehicle bylaw is a general bylaw. It's not a zoning bylaw, the
But
unregistered
unregistered
vehicle.
vehicles are in the zoning bylaws as well.
Okay.
We definitely need to do something
Yeah.
about it.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else from Randy? He's answered the 2 questions that I had.
You have anything else for us?
I don't believe so. It's permit season and we'll be redoing a lot of permits. I just had a conversation with Jen Reynolds and she was trying to figure out how to pay, and I let her know that we don't charge town things for a town permit. That just seems foolish. So,
Well, we have the rest of the Board of Health here, so did you folks want to talk to us tonight?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Randy's here, why don't we,
Are you talking about the matter?
no,
at
we're
hand?
talking about what you want.
Okay, all right.
Okay. What can we do for you?
Maybe come up to the table so.
Yeah, come on up.
Dave, this might be something that we want to talk about.
But they
before.
still, you still on this car thing?
Huh?
Are you still on this car thing?
No.
Oh,
Oh, okay, no,
yes, I do.
no.
Well, after 24 years of being on the board and doing this, health reasons have caused me to resign as of December 31st.
December 25th? Okay.
sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Done it for a long time, David.
And I'd like to introduce, good grief, see, that's why I need to resign.
Happens to me too, yeah.
I'm Debbie DeLabriere.
Okay,
I was on the Board of Health prior in Bernardston,
okay,
and I'm also a Title V certified inspector.
okay.
I've worked with Dave for years. We've always been in touch. I've been helping him recently because it's just too difficult for him to write. So I've been going on perks and Title V's and septics with him and doing the paperwork for him. And I've always told David I would love to be back on the board,
Okay.
especially doing Title V's and perks, because that was always my forte. Used to go to all the conferences and pass the exam.
Who is the chair of the,
Oh,
okay,
Yeah.
how do you feel about what is being said here tonight?
To be perfectly honest, this is the first that I've heard of this, and I would prefer to have a meeting so that the 3 of us can discuss this before we bring it to you, considering that that's how the way that it's supposed to roll anyway. Nothing against you, you sound like you're a perfect fit, but I just think that we should go by the traditional way of
Okay,
of
do you want
nominating
us to,
somebody.
do you want us to table this so you can go into the office and discuss and then come back and talk to us tonight, or?
I would point out they don't have a meeting posted, so I don't think they
They can't do
Yeah,
that.
technically,
That's right.
yeah.
Huh?
They
The
don't
meeting
need,
has to be posted,
no
yeah.
posted meeting.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah.
But David, we're sorry you had to do that. I mean, really, it's been a ton of years for the town.
Well, I'd
Worked with a lot
like
of
to-
different vendors, for
I'll
sure.
be around, so I can assist if necessary,
So when we can't find something, you can walk right over and point to it.
but I
He'll never retire.
I'd
I'm
like
gonna drag him out.
ask the
He's like
board to appoint her to my position after I resign.
Okay, I think what we'll do is we will let the chair have a meeting with the whole committee and bring the recommendation back to us, so it's doing it the right way, like.
Probably also need a written.
Yeah, they need, you send your meeting posting to myself, and, because you require 48 hours notice, so, and keep in mind, we're closed on Fridays, so 48 hours means,
So that it's not going to Karen. it's
It could
going
go to both.
it can go to both of us, yes. That way we're both on
Okay.
track with it too. And then we'll get it posted for you. So if you want to have a meeting next week, if you get me the notice tomorrow, we can get the meeting posted for as early as Tuesday night would be the earliest.
We do appreciate you offering your services.
Resignation.
Okay, so we'll,
That would be
I
honored to be
talked
back
about
in, and
it.
like I said,
You know,
Dave's never gonna
personally.
retire, I'll be still dragging him out. He's the Wikipedia of everyone's septic in Bernardston. Yeah, he's
Okay.
so valuable. Thank you, Dave, for all you've done.
okay, so we'll leave it like that. Thank you, David, and.
Thank you, David.
Okay, Randy, I guess we're all set with you. Unless you
Yeah, that was more than I needed to hear.
Okay,
Thank you,
Thank you.
Randy.
Thank you.
Jennifer Reynolds,
Come on
step
up.
right up here to the table. Oh, paper, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the last time I was here, I talked to you about applying for the Community Compact IT grant to bolster the town's infrastructure. We originally had applied the grant to get a server and computers and printers and Wi-Fi access points. The bid was around $80,000. The state Department of Revenue has come back and said, would you be willing to cut out the computers and printers? And, you know, this isn't an approved amount, but would you be willing to work with $50,000 for your infrastructure? We didn't want to say no, so we said, yeah, we'll work with that. So that's where we're at. So we're not 100% approved for it, but they're indicating that we could get $50,000.
So the big things that were cut out were, what, some of the desktops? and-
Yeah, we were trying to get desktops and laptops for every department and some of the boards and committees on printers. What that leaves is infrastructure, which could be a server, Wi-Fi access points, a sonic wall.
I don't know what that is. What's, sorry.
So, I'll try my best to explain it. I do have vendors that are willing to meet, and they probably can explain it a little better. I noticed one of the quotes that I gave you was pretty comprehensive, so
Which one are you pointing at?
this NetLogix.
Okay.
It's funny because Advantech has been more responsive and education as far as answering the phone, and they came here on site and talked with me and Lou. NetLogix hasn't been on site yet. Getting a quote from them just over email. So a server would be connected to all of our computers. We could store our documents. right now, we have no infrastructure here. There are certain laws regarding, and Chris can attest to this, records retention.
Yes.
You know, a lot of towns are being hit with cyber attacks, so
Yep.
this really is like a cabinet to secure the network within a town. There's also advantages of having shared drives, so we could have an HR drive where all the employee forms are located, everybody can access those. This also entails Wi-Fi access points, so certain buildings don't, you know, they may have internet, but it's not a strong signal, which slows down workflow. It also entails a sonic wall, which protects from cyber attacks and what have you.
Well, I guess my first question right off the bat would be, you've gone out to get a bid with 2 companies so far now. When you say we might get a grant for $50,000, is the grant for this total of $44,000?
Yes. Yep, so that would cover all the equipment, installation. With installing this, we'd need a licensed electrician to run all the wires. The company would come in, install the equipment, so it essentially would be kind of like that, but a lot cleaner, and it's a server.
Yeah,
It's
it's
hard
like
to
a
describe.
cabinet.
Yeah.
It's a cabinet, it's enclosed cabinet.
Okay, and then they would be like the IT person for the town?
The 40,000 would get us the equipment that we need.
Okay.
Then there's ongoing management costs after that. So that's the real pressing question, you guys, because
Yeah.
we could say yes to free equipment all day long, but the ongoing cost to manage this, and both companies are pretty much in the same ballpark. If we did a partially managed system, to manage the server and the network, firewall management, router support, switch monitoring, remote and on-site support, that would be $500 a month.
Where's that?
If you go to the second page of this packet, that would be $500 a month.
That's which one you look at, NetLogic or?
That would be on Advantech,
Page 2, yep.
page 2. Through
I
NetLog,
don't have page 2.
Well, one of one, it says at the
this
bottom.
one right here. There you go. Oh, maybe you don't.
No, I don't have it.
Oh, you know what, mine does look a little bit different, I'll show you where it is. So it's page 3 on the back. That would be partially managed, so both of their quotes are pretty similar, so it'd be about $500 for the server.
Okay, well, what's the 1,260?
So the other piece of that would be to provide tech support for our computers. So that's a variable number. They bid that at like $40 a computer. So if we were to protect the town clerk, the treasurer, the assessor, fire, to protect those computers, it's $40 a month for partially managed services.
Per computer.
Per computer. So if we did 19 computers, because I had to give them a number to work with.
Mm-hmm.
So if we did 19 computers and the server and the network, that partially managed, that would be $1,260 a month. If we had to call them in for, you know, to change anybody's computers over or anything like that, that's not part of that service contract. It would be $150 an hour.
So what was the $500 a month? You mentioned the
Two 250s.
There's two 250s. So one is to manage the server.
But then you just said something about, so it's the 1,260 is the total?
With 19 computers, the server, and the network
IT support,
devices.
right.
So you got $40 a piece,
Yep.
19, extended is
So the real
760.
number is $1,260 a month.
For
For
partially managed services.
Holy cow.
Yeah,
That's what I said.
yeah. But we have no IT.
No, we don't.
We really don't have a backup system. We're using flash drives if we think about it. We're extremely vulnerable by using that. We have people's data. We have records that we have to keep that we're responsible for by law.
So what does fully managed get you that?
Fully
partial doesn't give
managed,
you?
let's see. They're on call 24/7. They have to help us with every little thing that we call them about.
That's a 2875, right?
Yeah, that's
See
it.
the ones on what you're calling page 2, the $250 ones, say fully managed IT.
That's for the server. So there's fully managed servers, fully managed network, and fully managed, like, our
So the
computers.
$40 a month is only partial,
Partial.
but the server's full
Yeah,
for $250.
yeah. Yeah, that quote's the same on both. You have to have an IT person monitor the server and do updates as needed. So that price doesn't change whether it's fully managed or partially managed. The piece that makes the fully managed and partially managed are the computers. What kind of tech support, like, are they just coming in and installing a computer, set it and forget it? That would be partial managed. Fully managed is they're bringing in computers, setting them up, and then when we have a problem, we call them and they fix it immediately. Under the partially managed, if we have a problem, we call them, it's $150 an hour. There is wiggle room on these prices when you get into the number of computers and what types of services, but I had to work with a ballpark number to start somewhere.
Can they give you what they project their costs will be a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now? Like, is this to get you in the door and next year it's
No.
gonna be 10 grand a month?
No, this is, as you can, I have two prices, I can get a third, but these are like the going rates.
And we'd
So I
have
don't
to-
think they're come on
We'd have to put
prices.
some restrictions around people calling if it's partially managed,
Yeah,
to say, I lost my password, I can't figure it out, pay $150 to get me back into it.
yeah,
Otherwise, we're gonna suck down another 20 grand without thinking about it.
yeah. I mean, right now, Lou used to provide IT support. Right now, we have none.
Right. No, I get it. I'm just saying, we
Yeah.
can't have every single department
Yeah.
calling tech support
Yeah,
without somebody knowing that it's happening.
yeah,
Because we're gonna get a bill every month for the $1,260 plus another $1,000 because everybody's called once that month.
yeah,
And it's $150 to call.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
And we'd have to figure out whose department's gonna pay for everything.
You said Advantech was more responsive than NetLogic. What scares me a little bit is that Advantech is in Fall River, NetLogic is in Westfield.
So, I'm not sure why they have the Fall River address. The president of the company lives in Belchertown. The guy Brian that I've been dealing with lives in Longmeadow.
Okay.
I got their name off the state disadvantaged business list on a grant that I did at the center. I did find NetLogic on that same list and noticed they were in Westfield. So I felt that, and it seems that they have NetLogic has a bigger clientele with municipalities than the Advantech. And NetLogic, I haven't met in person with yet, just because I called them so late in the game. I just haven't had that time. They are willing to come up here.
Okay, I don't think, we don't have to make a decision tonight.
You don't,
Okay, because we don't know if we're gonna get the grant yet.
no.
So
And
this is
so
on-
when.
This is on hold until we get the grant.
Yep, and so when we get the grant, because I'm sure we will, you have 18 months to spend that money. So it's not like a quick race, like we have to spend this money right away. There
My-
is time to do it out.
My suggestion to the board would be simply this, is continue to go for the grant, and if we get the grant, to have a sit-down meeting with different companies, so we can talk to them one-on-one, and then choose what we want.
With the additional extended caveat that with this kind of cost, we got a budget for this.
That's correct, but
Jane would have a fit if we,
And rightly so.
yeah.
Right, but we can't
Yes.
do anything until we know if we're gonna get the
Understand.
grant. But this will be something that we can talk about during the budget season, while when we sit down with our budget, we can talk about how we can add this, and I know we already, our IT is what, $1,000 a year is what we got? Or
Yeah,
something
this
like
is
that
1,000 a
there?
month.
Huh?
This is-
Yeah,
So the IT we have now, there is no support, there's nobody to call.
Right.
Frequently, our town emails are blocked. We're currently on a shared server, so we're sharing the server with other people, we don't know who. And frequently I've emailed the state and it's been blocked, it's listed as spam.
Mhm.
Our server's blacklisted.
That's a real problem.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
so when do
You
you
don't
think?
know
Being
what
a
when you're
town
not
clerk,
getting
I
something.
really
It's
need a good system
Yeah.
and know that everything is getting backed up correctly.
When do you think you know about the grant?
Soon, because they were just emailing, you know, if we approve this, would you take 50,000?
Okay, so once we find that out, we'll get moving on it right away.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we can't, it's something we can't sit on.
The other remote possibility is we have some in-town talent, Aaron, pretty high-tech guy. Just to have him in the conversation, is this going in the right direction? Should we be putting servers in? Is there a way to protect ourselves from, I'm blanking on the term, but
Well-
they install software that freezes up your town and you can't get anything out of anything.
I'd ask Lou to come back in to sit with us on that.
Oh, on the
If
same-
it's available with his time and his new
Yep.
job, because again, he's been the person that has been involved in all of our computers for as long as, for the last 5 years anyways.
I fully understand and agree that we need to come out of the dark ages as far as our technology. I just don't, I'm not smart enough to know whether this is the right solution.
Now, it gives us time, we can be talking to people, we can be talking to companies, we can be talking to how they go about doing it and seeing what we're doing, but I really do appreciate you going after this.
Yeah.
Because without you going after this, there's no way in heck we could even begin to think about moving in this direction. We've been talking about putting servers in for years and backup. We back up something to the cloud now, and there's some drive backups, and it's just a mess.
Yeah,
It is.
it is. I appreciate you acknowledging that.
Yep, hold on.
You know,
Peter?
Couple of things. One for Jennifer. Is there any cloud-based
there is.
programs in this?
There is, and I made sure to include that because I had talked to Bill Montilio, and he was expressing that need for emergency management.
Right.
If all systems shut down, they would back up our cloud storage, and that cloud storage would be there.
Yeah,
And that's my other point. A little while ago, we had that COOP plan we brought in. This record keeping and all this stuff was one of the deficiencies that town had. Or a lack of record keeping, the ability.
It's gonna get us in trouble someday.
Yes.
It's not when, it's,
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
yeah.
Brian from Advantech, we also mentioned about how we're gonna be getting a new fire department soon. And with the Community Compact IT grant, you typically can only apply for it every 2 years. We've never applied for it. He has a guy he talks to in the DOR that deals with this, and he explained that we've never gotten it before. We're gonna have a future need immediately with a new fire department, and he explained that we could kind of piggyback off that and get them to set aside money next year to help fund the fire department once it's built. So we'd kind of be getting it 2 years in a row instead of having to wait every other year.
Sounds good.
You know, and at the very least, you know, if we should get some equipment out of this. Even if you decide not to get a server, we should get the Wi-Fi access points. I just had all this stuff installed at the senior center. So actually, I'm all good. I don't need any of this other than a server and an IT service, but Even just getting the Wi-Fi access points and the sonic wall put up. That's an equipment grab. The big bucks is getting an electrician to run the wiring. The work I had done at the senior center, that job was $12,000. $6,000 of it was the electrician running wire.
Covered by a grant.
Yeah. So, we will get this money, and we definitely need to take it. We just need to start thinking about how we really want to spend it. And again, every 2 years you can go for this money. It's been perpetually available for 10, 15 years.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you,
Yeah.
thank you.
We'll have to think about where we're gonna put a
I'm
server.
excited, yay.
I might need to get a consultant to help us with all that stuff.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Okay, moving on.
Thanks, John.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Jen.
Okay, Peter, you're here, so I'm gonna,
Go on, Stan.
Excuse me. We just paid for the stove? With this warrant?
I guess so.
Yes, we did.
Okay,
Yep.
okay.
I gave,
And it's working great, the new one?
it is. It
Okay.
is.
All right, because the
We're
first
putting
one,
it to the test tomorrow for Thanksgiving.
that's right. And we got a full house. I understand,
65,
65 now.
yeah,
Okay.
and a quilt show, and a cookie swap,
Cookie swaps,
and
that's
a
good.
Romeo's.
All of the above.
And
Thanks again.
Thank you, Jen.
Peter, what can we do for you tonight?
And Brian from Advantech, he's very responsive. If you want to just give him a call and talk to him.
Okay.
He has no problem with that. He told me I could call him tonight during the meeting, but
Yeah,
I figured we'll wait.
sounds like a plan. Once
Yeah.
we get the grant, then we'll,
And we're gonna have a common, we
Step
can all
it through.
sit down and talk about.
So
Yeah.
the other thing, what if we apply for a technical assistance grant too, to help
Let's-
out with?
sounds like we need it.
Yeah,
It's 12.5 and it's an easy grant to apply for, I think. Help. Anyways,
Yeah.
Okay,
just throwing that seed out there, you know?
always good.
All right, have a good
Thanks
night.
again.
Good night.
See you
Thank you,
tomorrow.
Jen. Yes, sir.
I just want anything new on the fire chief's position.
Oh, God, you're on here, your name? Are you?
Well, the only thing that we have new, and you've probably already seen it, is the letter back from Donna. And it says here, it appears the regulations do allow for Peter to continue as a volunteer firefighter, even if appointed chief, until the legislation is approved. He cannot be on the payroll.
Same thing, I
What you
believe
said.
I presented to you that night.
Yeah.
So what would you like to do there?
I know there was discussion before with the pay. I mean, I haven't done it in a few years, but shortly after I was appointed strong chief and I got a raise, I kept track of my hours again for a while.
Yeah.
And I'm getting like $3.09 an hour.
Pretty good.
So, yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, prior to that, it was like 68 cents, so I mean, that was quite an increase.
You're still doing 3 times better than, but probably 10 times better than we're doing. Well, I guess,
But, I mean, I guess I'm not in it for the money.
I know that, Peter. But I'm wondering if we could do something like if we kept him on without pay, he could be the chief according to this. And then if he kept track of his hours, when
The legislation passes.
the legislation passes, we could give him the back pay. I mean, I'd like to hate to see a person going out there and not having any, and if it doesn't pass, we would still pay him
Somehow.
his back. Well, he wouldn't be able to be chief then, but we'd still give him his back pay. I'd like to see us do that.
Absolutely agree with that.
So would you be willing to?
I got no problem doing that.
We're still hoping for short
My
term.
main concern still is it's the department and the town. I mean, it's sort of hit the department hard. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of guys still don't know even how to talk to me. They don't say should call me chief, or if they should even say hi or not say hi. Or,
After how many years?
yeah.
Well, I mean, if I'm reading this letter right, it sounds like we
that's what I read
can keep him on as the fire chief, thank Lloyd for stepping in when, as he did, and point you back to the fire chief without pay.
I think we should have that motion just to make it official.
So moved.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
But you-
Let's hope it's really temporary. I mean,
Yes.
who knows with the legislation, right? You know, we're gonna do this and tomorrow we'll get the letter that's.
I understand
Yeah.
that they're going on recess.
And keep track of your hours, please.
Yeah.
Okay, we're all set there.
Okay.
What else you got?
Anything else I can do for you?
Anything good in the mail?
Andy,
No.
can you just give the town an update on, because I get asked all the time, when are we gonna move into the new, what's the timeline?
It's depending on how far Chris gets along with his building, and he's way ahead of schedule.
Good.
So
This is the building in
yeah,
Chesterfield?
when in Winchester,
Winchester.
Winchester.
Yeah, right now, January.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So he is way ahead of schedule. So it's
this is Roger's new building.
yeah. I mean, and our guys are working on plans to make sure we have the stuff ordered and the stuff we need. So
And we worked out the deposit piece of it, right?
Yep.
Well, that's
It was a little
not gonna
fuzzy for a
be-
minute, but-
It's not gonna be until January?
Right, that's all.
Right.
Everybody's good with that, right?
yeah,
The money
that,
goes
that's
over.
that's what they wanted. So that was
Right.
between them and the lawyers. And
Yep.
I do believe Chris finally brought the paperwork in.
Okay.
And I sent it to the lawyer,
Okay.
to Don.
Yeah, that's great.
Excellent.
So we are moving
shooting for
forward.
next
So
fall.
soon as we can, yeah, I'd say at the latest
That's all.
next fall. I foresee it probably sometime during the summer.
Cool. Great.
Summer of '24.
Yes.
Sounds great.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks for hanging in there on that cheap
No,
deal.
no problem.
What else we gonna do, right?
Okay, Jen,
Hi,
What's that?
I come with gifts. So this is the new picture for this year. It was almost 90 kids. So you can add to the other
That's the
one.
other one right there.
Yeah, so this one's a new one.
We gotta hold it right over here. Probably, will this one get it, Tyler, or not? Can you see that or not?
And this is the
This was
tournament?
soccer. No,
run?
this was just all the Bernardston soccer teams.
Oh,
No, the
90
tournament,
kids.
almost 90. That's the biggest number in a long time.
Okay.
Yeah, that was huge.
So the program is alive and well.
And growing.
okay, so what can we do for you tonight?
So I just want to give you updates. So soccer jamboree, 41 teams came. It was a huge event, even though it was in the rain. Crossfire, which is like dodgeball, is our hot thing this month. We've got 35 kids playing at Bernardston Elementary School, 2 nights a week.
That's what the best.
No, this is crossfire. It's like dodgeball. And they're like super squishy balls. I've got almost 35 kids playing. It is the hot item at school. Last night, it was parents versus kids.
Oh, boy.
And the parents won.
Oh,
Oh, that's
Yeah.
not right.
No teachers versus kids?
There was a couple teachers in there, so we'll see what happens next week.
okay.
And then basketball has started, and we have 50 kids, which is better than last year. So,
50 kids.
yes, 50 kids. So that's really good, considering the last few years COVID killed it.
Did you get the schedule worked out with Aaron Gary
Yep,
while we're talking to you? Okay,
Yes.
because I know that one has
Yes.
come a couple times.
yes.
Okay.
So we're in there. And then the craft fair is set for December 2nd, and it's almost full.
And make sure your food vendors reach out to Randy.
We're all set with that. Only the rec department doing food, I believe, and the class of 2024, which is Michael's class. So we're good.
Where do you have the craft fair?
At the elementary school,
Okay,
inside where it's warm.
okay.
That was pretty big last year.
It was, so hopefully it'll be well attended again.
You gotta publicize it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes in the recorder, and then it goes on WHAI and Bear Country on the community page.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we need to put that in the,
Can you send me
Sure.
the information on it? Thank you.
And then, what else do we have?
Summer rec's right around the corner.
Yes, summer rec, and we actually had, we discussed this the other day, we need to increase our staff for next year.
And budget season's here.
Yeah, that's why we had a meeting the other night to discuss this. So we're going to look to see if one of our college kids can be the next adult to help us out, because 60 kids last year was a lot, with myself, an assistant, and then Terry getting dinners or lunches. So we're gonna have to bring on somebody else that's another adult. So we're gonna have to see if one of our college kids.
Where do we
pay
get our
them.
lunches from?
Greenfield High School does them. They make breakfast, lunch, 2 snacks, and you pay $175 a week.
Okay.
It works out good. Parents love it. And there's always extra food, so we have plenty of ways to keep it fresh.
Okay.
And then I think the numbers will probably grow. I'm thinking probably 80 kids this year. I'm thinking.
Okay. We asked the last time you were here to have you put together some information for us so we could sit down as the board and talk to you and try to figure out what your department is doing, how your department operates, how the budget's going to work, how the budget's going to look like, and because you wanted to become the director, paid director.
Right.
Okay, so we need to still have that meeting. We haven't got,
Right.
you haven't set up anything with,
No, we talked.
We talked.
We
We're gonna-
talked.
Yep.
okay.
She's gonna float me a couple dates and we'll socialize it with you gentlemen and then we'll go from there.
'Cause we really
We
need to
did
get that
at
done.
a select board meeting or at a
It'll be a special meeting.
special? Okay.
So I did give, what did I give it to? Did I give it to Lou before? Or did I give it to you? I don't know who I gave it to.
Just resend it.
It was a listing of like all our programs.
I think we saw that.
Okay. All right. And then I started doing a breakdown of how many hours everything was. Like basketball season, I'm sitting in there every practice now, except for 2 nights, 1 hour sessions because a different rec board's in there. So somebody from rec has to sit there every practice to make sure nothing's going down. So that's the way it's been set for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years now.
Okay, well, you have taken it to a new level. And of course, the budget has increased with that, taking it to a new level.
Money well spent.
Right. And it's, and I mean that in a good way, not in a bad way,
Right.
but we've got to figure it all out.
Right, no, totally get it.
We've got to make sure that, like you said something the other time, but you weren't aware that you're going to get paid.
Mm-mm.
Okay, because the money was there.
Right, because I asked for that when we did our budget, but nobody ever got back to me.
Okay, so let's get this worked out. Let's set up something. We'll get something. We don't have to have it on a night time.
Right.
We can meet you. I don't know what these guys feel about it, even on a Saturday morning or
Okay.
something, depending on what you guys need. But we need to really get a good feel.
Totally understand that.
Every budget season, I'm like pulling my head out.
And my
wondering-
budget is the worst because mine goes 2 seasons because I'm in the middle of summer rec.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's the hardest budget to figure out. And when I set it up in December, I don't know if there's gonna be snow days. Like last year, I had to redo it 3 times because who would have thought we went to school till almost July 1st?
Right.
I mean, this year the Kiwanis already said we can use their venue for 1 week, maybe 2, which would be nice to extend it because if school gets out early, which is June 12th, we can run it for 8 weeks this year.
Okay, because we've got to get this.
Up from 6 2 years ago,
6 weeks was last year.
last year.
But if we get out,
Usually 5.
yeah,
Used to be.
some years it's only 4.
Yeah.
And I think the spreadsheet's got to be clearer
Yeah,
on how we
we
do
do
it.
not want to do the budget process for your department like we did last year.
Right.
We need to,
No, we can figure something new out.
Okay, so let's work that out and see if we
Okay.
can get that, because, I mean, I know you're on a tight schedule because you're everywhere.
Yeah.
You go all over the place, and God bless you. I don't
Did
know
hear
how
a ton of comments though about the soccer jamboree, and that was very well organized
Yeah.
from other teams from other towns
Yeah,
that
it
have
was
said
good.
lots of
everything went
teams from that. How
flawlessly.
many?
41 teams rolled in.
41.
I mean,
And
that's a
how many
hard
kids on a
number.
team?
At least 10. I mean, Bernardston was carrying 13.
And you
12,
have
13.
parents and grandparents coming
Oh,
in,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, you can see
A lot
all
of
the,
people.
you can see all their tire marks.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sorry, sorry. We'll try to fix that.
Well, speaking of that and bring that up, we need to talk as a select board. I've been thinking that the only place that's really bad is
Is
that
that one strip, because
is
I've been
that
up
road.
there.
I mean, where they park their cars, there's nothing, you can't even tell they park their cars. But I would even talk to Brian one day, but maybe we should maybe gravel that.
Well, reclaim blacktop like he was able to do on
Yeah.
the entrance in the Pratt Field.
Speaking of which, they actually need to do that again, because there's a bunch of potholes in there.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's got any extra hanging around, but that would definitely work.
So anyway, so we're gonna be looking at that. That wasn't your fault, nothing you could do about it.
No, just gonna be, 2 rainy weekends in a row.
Yeah, I'm just glad that it didn't.
Summer of '23, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Scarecrow in the park.
Right.
Okay, so leave you with a charge of getting something written up for us. and-
So you contact me, looking at Saturday morning maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever works for you.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
we'll see how it
Don't
works
get hung
out.
up on Saturday morning.
Well, I was just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Bad
Just
enough.
not this Saturday morning, I got a college visit.
No, no.
Last one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So I'll wait to hear from you, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that the Huskies?
We've been there. We went to
Oh.
Yukon. We've done UMass Lowell. No, this weekend's UMass Lowell. We've been to Merrimack, Keene State. Fingers crossed.
Okay.
All right.
Serious
Keep up the good
All
work.
right. Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you very
Thank
much.
you. How's the ankle?
Much better. The Achilles is healing. I'm just not running yet,
Okay.
but I've been doing my lifts.
Okay.
But you're
Thanks,
playing
Jen.
dodgeball or whatever you
Give me a
call
call.
it. Crossfire.
All right.
Crossfire.
All right.
What do you got there, Stan?
Well, I'm gonna go by my agenda here. I thought it was-
Liquor licenses?
No, not yet. We just relax a minute.
Okay.
Everybody just relax.
Take a nap. I know.
Okay.
Road.
The Board of Assessors would like to recommend appointing William Dean to the Board of Assessors until the next town election. The lack of a candidate in the third position on the board has, on occasion, caused us difficulty in reaching a quorum for a meeting and signing necessary documents concerning the tax rate setting process. This will help alleviate that issue. Melissa Murphy, Chair. Entertain a motion to appoint William Dean to the Board of Assessors until the next town election.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That-
We don't get have
thank you.
discussion?
That is done. Okay, we need to talk a little bit about this, the liquor license renewals. We have license for Hillside Pizza, your pleasures, for their liquor license.
Want to do them all at once?
Yeah, and then we have the Farmer Brewery license for Hitchcock Brewing.
Yes.
What about Antonio's too?
Don't have that here.
No? Okay. It's on the notes here.
Oh. Just scratch Antonio's for
Okay.
now. Scratch Antonio's, that was done.
Okay.
Thank you. This is typo.
All right.
Thank you.
So Hitchcock and Hillside.
Right.
We're into the H's tonight.
Make a motion?
And these are so moved to
Second.
renew
All
them.
Oh.
those in favor?
Aye.
We do the liquor licenses.
Okay.
I noticed the spelling of Mr. Dean's name is with an E and without an E. Is it, which one is correct?
It's with an E.
It's with an E,
Is there any relation to Russell?
like a nephew or a.
No concern about a
No,
conflict
it's
there?
fine.
Okay, good.
I checked.
Okay,
Thank you.
the next thing up is the cannabis social equity policy that we skipped over last month. I'm sure we all had a chance to read that document, which is,
Yeah, if you can make head or tails of it, right? That's just for information, you can pass that.
Yeah,
Okay, he already signed it.
thank you.
Thank you.
and it sounds like we have to make a decision on what we're gonna do. Or we just sit back and wait and see what happens. I mean, this is the biggest, I've never seen anything like this. I mean, this is incredible. They want us to put money aside for a social equity program of the monies that the town is going to get from their 3% sales tax. They want money back for this program. I mean, they don't do it for alcoholic establishments and all that stuff. Why are we doing it for this?
I totally agree.
I mean, I think the state is totally out of control with what they're doing. I mean, this is ridiculous. But I don't know if we have any way around it at this point, but to accept this policy.
Do we have communication with our representative senators to get their advocacy support?
What representative?
Cumberford, Blaze.
I don't know if they're making a lot of noise about this. Because, see, the problem is it's not all communities.
Right.
It's only the
Just
communities that have
Host
the establishments in their communities.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We could, this is my suggestion. We could send a letter to Joanne Comerford and Natalie Blaze and ask them what is their take on this, and also send this to our town council and ask them what we should do.
I was under the impression that this, what you're holding here, the Town of Bernardston Cannabis Social Equity Policy, was drafted by Donna for you to sign.
I think it might have been drafted by the other one.
The other lawyer, right.
Hollerman and,
This has already been,
Okay.
this is like a
Yeah.
mandatory law thing that we have to do, I thought. But
I know they wrote it, and I know it's part of the law, but I'll be perfectly honest, I don't understand what it means we're supposed to do.
No, and either do I, because it's,
we have to do, it's the percentage of the reduction of the special permit fee, the last item, number 6. You're
Yeah, I
supposed to
mean,
determine your,
There's things in here like the town of Bernardston will provide permitting technical assistance for social equity and economic empowerment applicants navigating the town of Bernardston's cannabis permitting process. So does that mean we have to give them money to hire technical assistants to apply to be a?
Sure sounds like that.
Well, that certainly goes against the zoning bylaws. It says in the zoning bylaws that the town, if we had to hire anybody, it would be the responsibility of the applicant to pay for our consultants.
Right. Maybe we can, just a suggestion, I know the attorney from that group, and I forget it's like 3 or 4 names in that.
yes,
Solomon
I
and
know
something.
the firm as well, but.
Can we do like a 15-minute Zoom call with them someday
Sure.
to say,
Yep.
can you give us the Reader's Digest? What does this truly mean
Yeah.
we're supposed to do? I mean, I don't know where you are, Ken, with
I-
that. I'll be honest, I'm totally lost with what it's saying.
I'm
Sounds like
baffled
we gotta
with it.
give them money.
So that's what you'd like to do?
I
Set
mean,
up
I don't
a,
know, you guys,
Yeah,
if we set
we
something
need
up
more
with them.
information
Yeah.
before we're gonna
And
agree
I
to
think the
this.
attorney that wrote this seems pretty well educated on this next part you gave us. Or maybe Lou created it before he left, I'm not sure. The state's explanation of it,
right.
which makes it even less clear.
That came out late last week, I
Okay.
believe. Just an email, so we just attached
I mean,
it.
because it does, as Chris said, a lot of it does affect the zoning bylaws that are currently in place. And
Yeah.
does that mean this supersedes it? Is this one of those things that has to go to a town meeting?
And do we have to put it in the zoning bylaw?
Right, I mean,
And I don't know what you're really talking about there that affects cannabis permitting though.
yeah, I mean, this is a public document, maybe you can forward this one to Chris so she could read it as, she knows the zoning
Yes.
bylaws very well. Because a lot of it refers to different permitting processes.
Yeah.
Expediting permitting for social equity and economic empowerment applicants. I mean, that sounds to me like it would become part of the
So it sounds to
zoning.
me like there's gotta be a list of who those people are then, so if they apply, we have to,
The town will endeavor to streamline the permitting process for all applicants.
well, we only allow cannabis in the expedited
Right.
permitting district.
who-
and there's no
who are the
property left,
applicants?
Really.
Right, well, that's somebody that qualifies for the social equity. Which is,
You know, it's probably just if it's applicable, and if it's not applicable, then you know, but the
I think
policy
it's-
has to be in place.
I think it's the last
Is
line
all.
of this paragraph. Majority of the licensed applicant entity is comprised of individuals from Black, African American, Hispanic, Latino, or Native American or indigenous descent.
What about Pacific Islanders?
Yeah, that's not there. That's a good point, because you see that on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Fannie Mae, Freddie
What's
Mac.
that?
I mean, Pacific Islanders, they're listed on a lot of things like that catch-all on the last line, but I don't know, I just don't,
Yeah, I think we need to,
So
some help.
call with the lawyer?
see if we can get something, I mean, she doesn't need to come here, I think it was,
No, like a call,
most of them will do a Zoom. I think we have the
Zoom or a
technology now to
conference
do it,
call, right, okay.
okay. Now, we also have here the Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection. It's the process of doing our testing at the landfill. We have to sign this tonight. It's something we do every year.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you guys have any objections to me signing the,
No, it's a DEP regulation, we have to
Yeah.
do it annually to give them the results of it.
I didn't see that on the agenda. It's just
No, it was other business.
other business?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
It just requires Stan's signature.
Yes, it just, yeah. Nothing, no motions needed, it's just something that needs to be
Okay.
signed.
Now, before we go to the town coordinator's report, oh no, we'll go to the town coordinator's report and then come back.
All right, thank you.
Well, I got an MVP grant packet, and I got a senior housing funding packet,
Turn one
and I
page.
have a horse-drawn sleigh packet.
I think the senior funding packet was part of one of our questions when we had Brian,
Okay.
forgetting his last name, from
Yep.
Franklin Regional Housing Authority,
McHugh,
to
yeah.
potentially use the
No, it's,
corner lot.
that's a new item from, Stan had me contact,
Town coordinator's
Joe
report, none
Comerford's.
other business.
Okay, we'll leave it in other business.
so you want the town, ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So I thought I would take this opportunity to reintroduce the privilege of announcing our new town website. It was launched last week, and we, of course, want to thank Lou Bordeaux, who was the master behind the website's new look. Of course, the website will continue to evolve and improve as we receive feedback from the town residents and employees. So I just wanted to make alert that to forward all comments and recommendations and suggestions to the BOS@townofBernardston.org website or email account. And then the second item is the senior housing project funding. This is the item you were referring to, Ken.
Okay.
At Chairman Garland's request, I sent an email to Joe Comerford's office yesterday asking for help in finding funding for a senior housing project in Bernardston. The funding is needed for the purchase of land and new construction for approximately a 6 to 8 unit senior housing production. Alina Cohen, the district director for the office of Senator Joe Comerford, responded very quickly. She would like to set up a special meeting with the select board to gain a better understanding of what we have already considered and to discuss the resources she is familiar with. Then we could figure out if there's any possible avenues to pursue. Elena is available next Thursday, tomorrow at 9:30 or 3:00 p.m., or we can book time with her any time in the day on Tuesday, November 28th. So she's ready to sit down and have a conversation about
What's those dates again?
tomorrow, November 16th. She's available at 9:30 in the morning or 3 in the afternoon. And then next Tuesday, November 28th, she's wide open. So we can go back to her with any time on Tuesday, the 28th.
I'd like to attend, but I can't do tomorrow. I can do the 28th anytime.
I was thinking the 28th would be best, actually, because it'll give us a little time to prepare what we want to talk about with her.
Okay.
So what time on the 28th would be?
Oh, anytime.
Okay,
Well, you
Brian?
available or no?
I'll be hit or miss anyway, so as long as these two guys can be there, I can catch up later.
Does 10 o'clock sound okay then?
Yeah. What time?
10 o'clock
Yeah.
on November 28th.
Send a message to us.
I will, and we'll set that up and then, okay.
That's great.
And then again, we just need to last item is that we need to schedule our special meeting for our FY25 budget. I think that's something we should probably do within the next week. So availability for that, if we want to talk offline on that, that's fine, but we definitely need to have a date set for the budget.
Got a short week next week.
Yeah.
That's true.
If we're gonna meet, well, and then we want Brian there too, because I was thinking with getting together for Elena's call, maybe we could have done it at that time, but it's up to you, I'm available whenever. So whatever date you can come up with to sit down and do the budget.
Do we want to wait? No, we don't want to wait for that. No, okay.
We can go to the first week of December if that's fine, comfortable with that,
Has,
after the holiday.
Jane set the package out for,
Yes.
yes, okay.
And actually, and Lou and I, before Lou left, we did a good draft. So you have a prepared draft budget for your FY25 with some tweaking, probably by you.
So that when you say the first week of December, you mean?
I mean the 4th, through the week of the 4th of December, Monday's the 4th.
Yep.
So any day that, just let me know what.
Oh, you got the last week of November too.
That's true, sorry about that, yep. I was thinking, I'm off a week, thinking
But
Thanksgiving
I don't know what
is.
Brian's schedule is, and
Yeah, Brian, why don't you let us know?
Just have to be later in the afternoon, that's all. And I can do pretty much any day.
It's gonna take 45 minutes to an hour. Guess what it took last time.
Okay,
it might take a little bit more than that.
Okay.
It's a lot in that budget to go through. So.
Well, Wednesday the 29th, we have a select board meeting, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we probably don't want to get tied up doing it then, because then we got to.
it's too much, yeah.
You want to do it on, any day that week, I could do it.
Thursday would be better.
Thursday, 30th?
Thursday, the 30th?
Late in the afternoon? How
Like-
late?
If we did like 4:30?
Yep. Okay.
Works
Okay,
for me.
4:30
4:30?
on the 30th. Special meeting, and I'll post that. And it'll be budget, will be the topic, right?
Right.
Okay. And that's all I had for the town coordinator report.
Okay. Well, thank you, town coordinator. Appreciate that. Now we're going back to other business. Under other business, we have the MVP action grant. Lou had reached out to see if there was any, to this Andrew Smith, to see if we could do it on our own. I don't know if there's, if anybody wants to pursue that.
I'd be willing to do that if there, and they did mention there might be an opening to extend the deadline.
Correct.
We're way too tight, I think, now for us to take it for June 30th.
And he would, and that is, he would consider doing that, but as a reminder, this is a reimbursable grant. All the money has to be put up front. And that's one of the main reasons Leiden is kind of backing out of it.
Right.
And I would think we'd want to have another discussion with John Lepore and his partner, Dave Pomerantz, I think.
Yes.
Yes.
Dave.
Just to make sure they would be on board if it were to get extended and what they felt was a reasonable extension time.
Because as I understand, they backed out as well.
Yes.
Right.
There,
I mean,
yeah.
maybe they're just done with it, I don't know, but I haven't had that conversation with John, I don't know if anybody
Yeah,
else.
I'm not sure I want to proceed without the two of
Right,
them.
for sure. So I think we gotta reach out to John and Dave to say, is this something you still wanna pursue if the town of Bernardston agreed to take it on, and what would be a reasonable extension that they felt we could get it all done with? Because we can use our grant writer to help us with some of the management of it.
Yeah, if I haven't talked to her for a while, so.
The implication would be that we would do it by ourselves, or we would just be the lead and Leiden would participate with us.
By yourselves.
By ourselves.
So Dave Pomerantz would probably bow out there.
He might, or maybe he's into it, he might wanna continue to help John, maybe with.
Yeah, I
especially
mean,
with
there's a
John.
compensation piece for those two.
Yeah, right,
And that was part of the problem.
Sorry?
I'll talk to you after your meeting.
okay.
Okay, thank you.
So we'll table this for the short term?
Table it.
Okay.
Okay, another area is the farm table would like to, is planning an upcoming event, and they'd like to be able to use a horse-drawn sleigh ride for the holiday event at the farm table on December 17th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. It really doesn't give us a whole lot of detail as to where they'd be doing this horse-drawn sleigh ride, where they'd be going with it, and I think before we can even agree to this, we need to know that, and as well as we need to have Chief Paul Mary's
Weigh in on safety issues.
sign off on it.
We do horse-drawn carriages frequently in town.
Yes.
So the precedent is there.
I
It's
think it's
just,
great, yeah.
we just need more detail.
The hayride.
Yeah.
Yes, but we
Burroughs
just,
Turnpike, I don't think you guys had to do a permit for that at all.
Right.
That was Kiwanis Club, so.
I don't wanna know what's more, but I want more information on what's
I absolutely agree.
For sure.
going on here.
And Chief Palmieri needs to be involved.
Right.
My guess is they probably do it in that field they own right next to the highway.
I don't know, I
That's
mean, if
just
it's gonna be
my
up and
guess.
down just Route 5 here, I mean, that could be,
Safety issue.
How can they do a sleigh ride on Route 5?
they put wheels on it. I mean,
The sleighs have wheels that,
I don't know.
They did say that
Okay.
all the other activities are gonna be held in the barn, like for the kids and stuff. The only activity leaving the premises, you know what I mean, would be the sleigh, so.
Yeah, but where are they doing the sleigh ride? That's
I can get that for you, he didn't say.
where they're gonna get the snow.
All right,
And have him get a little letter from Chief Palmieri.
Yep.
He's good with the route, and
so,
if he requires a cop.
so I'll get that information and just kind of let you know then, Stan, 'cause is this something that needs to be
No.
that needs to be approved by the board though, or,
Well,
No.
yes, it should go through the board.
okay. Cause this, all right. We'll take it up at the
Because
special meeting.
he's talking December 17th, so if we get working on it now, we can have it done by we got
Okay.
another meeting in November.
Yeah,
So.
we have it on the 28th too, right?
Sounds good, thank you.
Okay, the winter parking ban. Winter parking ban goes into effect November 20th through April 1st, 2024. No on-street parking during winter storm events. And I'll say that again. The winter parking ban goes into effect on November 20th, 2023 through April 1st, 2024. No on-street parking during winter storm events, so please be aware of that. Okay, one of the things I wanted to bring up tonight was I took a walk upstairs, took a look at the room with Karen, and it's not, I wouldn't say it's not a real disaster up there. I mean, it's the biggest problem that we saw. There's no place for people to put anything.
Like tables?
Shelving.
No, like there's no way to organize it except in boxes or just stacking stuff on the floor. So what we would need to think about is going up there and saying, if we had shelving put, or we did it ourselves, put shelving in, and say, this is the recreation area. And that they would be charged with keeping their stuff there and organized. Town clerk, select board, whatever, but then when you get the stuff off the floor, we got maps up there on the floor, and I don't know, plans, I don't know, they go back into the 60s, 70s, 80s, and I don't know if,
Probably not organize them.
yeah, because there's a lot of stuff that needs to be thrown out. Well, we found a suitcase up there full of paper. I mean, blank paper.
It's good.
So
There is a pile, I think up in here, if it's still there, I don't know if it got moved, that the previous town clerk had started that was stuff that needed to be shredded. So,
yeah, there's stuff that needs to be shredded, but there's stuff that needs to be just thrown out. There's a lot of junk
well, at least the books aren't up there anymore.
that we don't need. And getting the piano out of the middle of the floor and maybe putting it over on the side or something. But I don't know how you guys want to go about doing this. I mean, we've talked about it several times, but stuff still sits on the floor up there.
Building the shelving, the highway department
Yeah.
has asked for the suggestion of some projects if they have the availability.
What about asking Pioneer Woodshop?
Yeah,
Or the tech school.
Right, the tech school?
Yeah, but I think shelving aside, once you get shelving up there, we can then organize Jen's stuff, we can pick
Yeah.
away at it slow, we can help you. I mean,
Well, I've been trying to just work through my stuff, no offense.
and then we can go through what we think is ours, and if there's anything up there that's still libraries, they're gonna have to tune it up, or we'll throw it away. I mean,
And I think we should incorporate the shredding project with this project. I
Make a
know,
pile of shred and then,
no, but like, I'm talking about a company, because I know Jim has 7 file cabinets in
At the
Brian's
highway.
garage.
yeah, that he
And
wants.
it needs to be shredded on site, and there's mobile shredding opportunities, so we should include this with that project as well.
Absolutely.
Is there normally a fee associated with those?
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
And
and
if
I got
not-
3 quotes on 3
So going into
companies.
budget season, we can. make
And
sure
that's
we
all
have
ready for our
something.
chat when we, right.
Yes.
Yeah, wait, perfect.
I would guess that this building comes under the purview of the select board budget.
Yes,
So that'll be one of the topics for our meeting on
yes.
whatever day we agreed to.
But I know when we walked around with Brian Meyer at the highway that day, he showed us all those files.
Oh, yeah.
that were all-
I
And they
think
were
we
up on
should-
a,
Full
Yeah, I'm
records.
thinking we should include this vision of cleaning up with our other
Yes.
offices, though. We're gonna do ours, but like you're
Yep.
gonna clean up the garage, police, you're gonna
Yep.
do your thing, and we're having a shredding service come in.
yeah.
Like, it should be a COA, everybody clean house, like a cleanup thing. You
There's
should have
gotta
kind
be
of
some
theme.
thought as well as to what kind of shelving
Right,
you wanna put up.
Something pretty sturdy.
It's gotta be sturdy, but it's also, you gotta remember, if you put up a shelf and there's no backing to it, it's all right to put a box on that, but if you're putting all the small stuff, it's just gonna go,
Okay.
so,
So sheet of plywood or something.
yeah, so.
Cheap and thin.
But I think there's 2 good
Bins.
choices there. We take a walk up there. with
Tubs
Brian
and
Meyer crew
bins.
And say, what do you
And label
think?
them on the outside so you know what's on the
Did,
inside.
did you meet with Brian today?
Once your
I
rec
did
comes
not.
out.
Did he?
I don't know, did you meet with Brian today?
Huh?
Did you meet
No.
with Brian
No.
Meyer today?
No.
Good. I wanted to be there.
Okay, so we can check with
The new maintenance team.
Brian,
Yeah.
maintenance part, we can check with that and see, maybe when they wanna come up, I could go up there with them. Kinda show, I mean, we're not gonna use it for anything, we might as well at least organize it and, make the storage up there.
I would guess that taking some of the weight off of that would be a good idea.
Yes, for sure.
I didn't know there was a piano up there.
And it should be to the edge of.
well, that shelving.
When was the
might
last time somebody played it?
Add weight.
Yeah? Good for you.
Yeah, when?
It was like last week, me and Mike were up there, it was been cleaning,
Good.
but I mean, it's just like,
All right. Makes me feel better. All right.
Probably needs tuning.
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I don't know, but I think it's still strong up there, I mean, I don't see anything, I don't see any sags in the.
That's why the building is sinking.
So I want to
Oh,
think
that's-
about how heavy the shelving's gonna be. You're talking wood, and I
Yeah.
might want to think that through too, like metal or something
That
like
might be a
that.
lot.
I don't know.
It's not that we have to store or make shelving across the whole floor. And we just have to look at it and say, okay, we need to have shelving for this, shelving for that.
So that she owns her shelving, you own your shelving, we
Right.
own
I
our
don't need
shelving.
shelving.
No?
It's me. I
Okay.
just need, I need a building.
I'm
Really?
pretty much electronic.
Gotta throw things away.
That's all some of our rec stuff.
Okay, so anyways, that's
All
what
right.
that's what we
Well,
got
it's a good
charged
idea.
with, and we'll start with Brian and we'll go from there.
Yep.
Okay, does anybody else have anything to come before the select board?
I do not. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
We didn't ask Brian.
No, I didn't. I said
Okay.
I do not.
I heard
Before
him
we
say I
adjourn, I just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and hope everybody has a safe one and
Yes.
enjoys it. With that, we will call the meeting, we'll adjourn the meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
We're done.
Happy Thanksgiving all.
When did you say this?